For a small and inexpensive entry into the red dot pistol game, or for a 45-degree red dot for CQB applications on a modern sporting rifle or a pistol caliber carbine, the Venom from Vortex is a lightweight and rugged little red dot. The Venom is a compact red dot that takes up minimal real estate on a pistol. It's only 1.9 inches long and it sits just over half an inch high on the top of your slide. At just 1.1 ounces, it's a very minimal addition to a handgun. Even though it is small, the 0.62 inch tall by 1 inch wide window does a really good job of projecting the dot out in front of you. The thin frame surround vanishes during shooting with both eyes open. The Venom uses the Dr. Noblex mounting pattern, so it's compatible with a wide selection of mounting plates and adapters. It comes with a mount for a standard 1913 pick rail for use on an AR or really anything that uses a Picatinny rail. There are also two 6mm screws included for mounting on a Glock MOS with the correct adapter. If you're mounting to a Glock MOS, then use the V4mm LEO adapter and the included screws. I used this rear sight dovetail mount from Duick Defense so that I could mount it without cutting the slide. The Venom comes in two configurations with a 3 MOA or a 6 MOA dot. The choice of dot is going to depend in a large part on the distance that you plan to use the sight. The 3 MOA will work better for longer distance engagements as it will cover less of the target. For hallway distances, the 6 will give you a big bold dot that you can easily find in the dark, and at that close range it will not obscure the target. Vortex advertises the Venom as parallax-free, but it does have a little bit of shift if the red dot is not centered in the window. It's not extreme, and the only way that it will be an issue is if you're shooting precision bullseye competitions. For Minute a Bad Guy, you will not even notice. There's also a bit of external parallax as you are mounting the sight above the bore, so that you will have to zero it at a specific range, but shooting outside of that range will only shift your point of impact an inch or two. The unlimited eye relief is a great feature of a reflex sight in general so that you can put it wherever you want on your rail and never have an issue seeing the dot. The Venom has 100 MOA of windage adjustment and 130 MOA of elevation, and each click of the adjustment screw is 1 MOA. I will say that the clicks on the adjustment screws are very mushy and barely perceptible, so you really need to be able to see clearly when you're turning them so that you can align the mark etched into the screw head with the hashes around the perimeter. The lenses are coated with ArmorTech to prevent scratching and are fully multi-coated to provide great clarity and avoid color aberration. The dot has 10 brightness settings. It does not have a motion activation feature to save battery life when it's not in use, but it does have an auto mode that will adjust the dot brightness based on ambient light. The downside to this feature is that it will shut off the optic after 14 hours when it's in the auto mode. So if you plan to carry this in your defensive pistol, you'll need to remember to turn it on before you leave the house. In manual mode, it will stay on until the battery dies, which at its brightest setting is 150 hours and at its lowest setting is 3,000 hours. I do like that the single 1632 battery can easily be replaced without removing the sight from the gun and losing zero. Just unscrew the top-mounted battery compartment to easily swap batteries. This sight shot very well at first on my Gen 1 Glock 26, but it eventually worked loose on me. Since Vortex doesn't have the torque specs in the manual, I had to experiment and found that 13 pounds seemed to do the trick. I also needed some shorter screws for my mount than the 6mm that were included, as they were bottoming out just shy of tight. I replaced them with some 5mm screws and that did the trick. A little blue thread blocker also helped. If you're looking for a low-profile, dependable red dot reflex sight as an entry level into the red dot pistol optic game, the Venom is a great entry point. I like it much better than the Viper. I haven't really put it on anything larger than a 9mm or a 223, but it withstood the recoil of each just fine, and I'm sure that it can stand up to heavier calibers. If not, it's covered by the Vortex no questions asked lifetime VIP warranty, so they will repair or replace it no matter who the original purchaser is. Sportsman's Warehouse has a wide selection of red dot reflex sights for your handgun or your rifle. Check them out at your nearest optics counter or online at sportsmans.com.